question is about the BRICS joint declaration, in which Israel has been called out about its aggression in Gaza and West Bank and its illegal occupation in West Bank.
Please don't use microphone, guys. Yeah.
Israel has been called out for its aggression in Gaza and its illegal occupation in West Bank. But there is a mention that a member state had a reservation about that para. Can we know which member state is that? And also, we haven't seen any reference to U.S.-Israel aggression against Iran. Why is that?
Well, you have to ask the president of this meeting to answer that question. I'm not in charge to answer those questions, but I think everybody knows that which country blocked anything against Israel, and that was very unfortunate. The same country did help the U.S. and Israel in their attack, in their aggression against Iran. The same country provided the U.S. and Israeli forces with their airspace, with their territories, with their military bases. And as far as we are concerned, they are in a direct party to this aggression and should be held responsible.
So, Siddharth from beyond, my question to you is, what conversation you had with the Indian External Affairs Minister earlier today? What conversation was on Hormuz, especially given the fact that there are Indian vessels still in the Hormuz? Will they be allowed to move as soon as possible because it's impacting the energy prices here in India?
Well, yesterday I had a very good brief discussion with Prime Minister Modi, and today a lengthy meeting with Minister Jaishankar. We discussed about almost everything, including the Strait of Hormuz and the situation in the Persian Gulf region. I have to say that we have more or less close positions, and we have same concerns and same interests in this important region. So we continue to coordinate with our Indian colleagues. As I said, the situation in the Strait of Hormuz is very complicated right now, and we are trying to help ships to pass safely. Everything would go back to normal once the act of aggression is totally and completely ended.
Minister Vishnu Shah from NDTV, welcome to our country. There is, as Siddharth was mentioning, a great deal of concern about the flow of oil and gas from the Persian Gulf to India. Is Iran not willing to get into an agreement with New Delhi to allow the sustained movement of Indian ships from the Persian Gulf to India?
Well, India has been a customer of Iranian oil in the past, and it has been stopped by India because of the U.S. sanctions, U.S. illegal unilateral sanctions. So we are obviously interested to continue our business in oil business, energy business, and we are ready to sell our oil to India. Of course, we do understand their considerations, and we do understand the consequences of the sanctions which are imposed by the U.S. So we have no problem. It's up to the Indian government to decide. But I believe that once the sanctions are lifted, we will immediately go back to the same volume of trade that we had with each other. Before those sanctions, we used to have more than $20 billion of business and trade with India. Now it is much smaller, but it's still in billions of dollars. So Iran and India have always enjoyed good trade and business relations. I'm sure the capacity between the two is really high, and we can go back to same volume that we used to have, or even higher, as soon as sanctions are lifted.
I'm Elena from TASS News Agency. Sir, yesterday you met your Russian Mr. Lavrov. Did you discuss the offer which Russian officials have on the table regarding the removing uranium from Iranian territory to Russia? What is your current position on this offer from Russian side? And can this offer crucial in resolving this deadlock in negotiations between Iran and US?
Well, yes. Yesterday I had a very good meeting with Sergei Lavrov. I have to say that we have always consulted with our Russian friends. We have a very good relation, strategic partnership, and we have always consulted with each other regarding all international, regional, and bilateral issues. I met President Putin in St. Petersburg about, I think, 10 days ago, less than 2 weeks ago, and we discussed everything, including the question that you mentioned. We are thankful to our Russian friends for their offer and for their, intention to help the resolution of this problem. Of course, this is something that we have to decide during the negotiations. The subject of our enriched material is a very complicated one, and we have now come to the conclusion with Americans that since it is very difficult, we are almost in a deadlock on this particular question, let's postpone it to the later stages of our negotiations. So for the time being, it is not under discussion, it's not under negotiation, but we will come to that subject in later stages. And when we come to that stage, obviously we would have more consultations with Russia, and we see if the Russian offer can help or not. This is not something for the time being.
Sir, Excellency, leaders from New Tech in India, you were also part of negotiation. My question to you is that what are the main issues preventing an end to the conflict between your country and US?
I think I already answered that question. The most important question is the question of mistrust, or the lack of trust from our side to Americans, and I explained the reasons of that mistrust. Another issue is, or another problem is as I said, contradictory messages, which has made us reluctant about the real intentions of Americans in these negotiations. We are in doubt about their seriousness, but the moment we feel that they are serious and they are ready for a fair and balanced deal, we certainly proceed in the course of negotiations.
Minister, thank you for doing this. Raza from the Hindustan Times. I wanted to ask you basically about the BRICS meeting. It's very clear that there was no agreement on a joint statement largely because of the differences between Iran and UAE. Do you believe that by the time the summit is held in September, you will be able to overcome these differences? And number two, the Prime Minister has just said a little while ago in UAE that India is ready to do everything to help bring peace to West Asia. What role would you like India to play in this process now?
Well, as a matter of fact, the final statement by BRICS ministerial meeting was blocked, or some parts of that was blocked by a member state which has its own special relations with Israel. And this is very unfortunate. We have no difficulty with that certain country. They have not been our target in the current war. We only hit American military bases and American military installations which are unfortunately in their soil. So the only reason they stopped the final statement was their support to Israel and the United States in their aggression against Iran, which is very, very unfortunate. I hope by the time that we come for the summit, they come to a good understanding that Iran is a neighbor. We have to live with each other. We have lived for centuries, and we have to live for centuries to come. Israelis cannot protect them. Americans cannot protect them. That was proved during this war. The American military bases, their relation with Israel became the source of insecurity. Instead of become the source of security, instead of protecting them, it was a source of insecurity for them. So these are the realities that they should understand. And I'm sure if they follow the line of wisdom, they will find Iran as a good neighbor and a good partner.
Mr. Foreign Minister, Pranay Pathak from India Today. My question to you is that yesterday President Donald Trump in an interview said that he discussed the issue of the Strait of Hormuz and Iran issue with the Chinese President Xi Jinping, and therein he said that Chinese President is ready to help to mediate some kind of solution. Are you open to that process? And has the process of Pakistan mediated solution has failed so far? And related question, that what steps are being taken by Iran to facilitate the more or the faster movement of the vessels, those who are stuck in Gulf of Persia, including 11 Indian ships?
Well, the mediation process by Pakistan has not been failed yet, but it is in a very difficult course, mostly because of the Americans' behavior and and the mistrust which exists between us. We appreciate any country who has the ability to help, particularly China. China has been helpful in the past in the resumption of relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia. We have very good relations with China. We are strategic partners to each other, and we know that Chinese have a good intention. So anything that can be done by them to help diplomacy would be welcomed by the Islamic Republic of Iran. Well, we hope that by the advancement of negotiations, we come to a good conclusion, so the Strait of Hormuz would be completely secured, and we can expedite the normalization of traffic in that strait.